Welcome back to Marketing Champions here on Daily Ad Brief. I'm Howard Walpuff, your host. Here we talk about marketing strategy around the country with great individuals who are doing some amazing things for their clients and marketing in general. Today we have Robert Solomon of Solomon Strategic here with us. Robert, welcome to the conversation.
Nice to be here. Thank you, Howard. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for joining us. Now, you have a really vast experience in marketing, in consulting, in really working with different companies and some great insight in how to interact with these companies in general. So why don't you share with us a little bit how you got started in marketing to begin with?
Wow, it's kind of an accidental profession for me, Howard. I actually studied to be a college professor, and at some point made the decision to shift over and become an advertising guy. My first real agency job was at a shop that you know as Digitas. From there, I moved on to an agency called Foot Cone and Belding. And then from there, I moved on to the legendary agency Ammirati and Puris, where I was president of direct and digital marketing. I ran two big divisions for that agency before striking out on my own and founding Solomon Strategic when I was 49 years old. I realized that the advertising business isn't terribly kind to 50-year-old account guys, and I decided I needed a second chapter, and the second chapter was my own consulting and coaching business. So that's how I started.
And the second chapter is really a strong lead-in from a first chapter with some really great agencies around the country that you had this great experience in learning and obviously implementing great marketing for your clients.
Yeah, I sort of specialize. I work with all kinds of agencies, traditional shops, more digitally native shops, PR firms, specialist agencies in places like healthcare. But what I really specialize in more than anything else is behavior change. Whether I'm dealing with an individual or an agency, I'm really devoted to helping shops sort of transform themselves in one form or the other. And I've worked with a whole host of shops in that regard, and individuals too.
And I sense that one of the biggest experiences that you've developed through all that time and working with different types of people is the right way to serve the clients and to make sure that they're feeling served and getting their message heard. So much so that you wrote a book on the art of client services that really talks about the treatment, the interaction, the connectivity with the agency, the individual, and the client.
Yes, thank you for bringing it up. My other role is as an author. And yes, I am the author of The Art of Client Service. It's now in its third edition. It's published by John Wiley & Sons. It has been in existence for more than 20 years, and there's a reason for that. There's a real hunger out there among account people, client service people on how to serve clients better. And people will say to me, well, Robert, why did you write the book? And I'll say, well, there's two answers. The short answer is because no one else did. You know, there are people who could have written this book equally better, if not far better than I have. There's, people like Andrew Robertson or Shelley Lazarus who could have easily written this book. But I went looking for a book to train my own people. And what actually happened is I couldn't find one. So I said, well, I'll write it. So I wrote it 20 years ago. And then I went through the first, second, and third editions. And it's continuing to serve people pretty effectively in the advertising and marketing business.
And it's so important that people understand how to treat this role. It's very important that people are heard and that people are getting the type of service that they're paying for and having that right key component person in there to make sure process is happening on both sides.
You're absolutely... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
What is really the most important thing that someone should be aware of when focusing on that role with the client?
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. The simple short answer is relationships matter. 2 words. When I started out in this business, I figured, well, if you do great work, everything will take care of itself. Relationships will be fine. Everything else will be fine. But I had a very simple but profound insight. I realized that great work doesn't lead to a great relationship. It's the other way around. A great relationship leads to great work. And if you look at the real legendary cutting edge advertising that has kind of defined the industry, you will find behind that an extraordinary collaboration between client and agency. And I've actually discovered, and I really believe this to be true, that great relationships drive the opportunity to do really outstanding work. And the book is really based on that, and it tries to teach people how to form enduring trust-based relationships with clients, which will serve them well over the life of their relationship. In fact, I'll say to you, if you are someone who understands the importance of a relationship in with a client, the chances of doing better or even better than better work it improves greatly, and you're much more able to reduce the kinds of problems that compel clients to look for other opportunities, other agencies.
Relationships is the story of marketing because you're trying to create a relationship with the prospective customer, but really that relationship within the role with agency and clients and what is developing is important because you want them to be happy with their work, you want them to stay, you want to continue the success of what you're building on, and setting up that relationship at the beginning and continuing with that is of utter importance. So we thank you for really sharing information about you, about the book, and really reinforcing this real role internally about relationship. It's not just external.
Agreed. Yeah, and I will tell you, there's a real art to building a relationship, and that's what the book's about. I'm not sure if there's anything else I can add to that, but that's really the story on the book.
Well, we appreciate that, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Sure, my pleasure, Howard. Take care. Have a great day.
And thank you all for joining us as well. Not only does Robert provide a lot of strategic strength and with his vast experience in marketing, but the art of client service is really a guide to those who are trying to figure out better ways to connect with their clients and to be ready when the bigger clients are coming, because you want to make sure you're servicing them as best as possible. So go check it out. Go get your copy today. There's more information on dailyadbrief.com. But go out, have a great rest of today, and we'll see you next time on Marketing Champions.